When doctors said she'd never walk again, a father refused to give up. His little girl, once full of laughter, now sat in silence, paralyzed and heartbroken. Until one cold morning, he came home with 3 tiny German Shepherd puppies. No one expected what happened next. Within weeks, her laughter returned. Within months, her body began to change in ways even science couldn't explain. But the real miracle came when those puppies did something that would leave the entire hospital speechless. The morning sun filtered softly through the hospital window, casting golden light over the quiet room. Daniel sat beside the bed, holding his daughter Lily's small hand, her fingers unmoving, her eyes distant. It had been 6 months since the accident, the day she lost the ability to walk. And the spark in her smile, doctors had done all they could. Machines hummed, charts changed, and hope faded little by little. But Daniel refused to give up. Every night, he whispered the same words. "You're going to walk again, sweetheart. Daddy promises." One morning, he came home carrying a cardboard box that wiggled and whined. When he placed it gently on Lily's lap, 3 tiny German Shepherd puppies tumbled out, tails wagging, noses twitching curiously. For the first time in months, Lily laughed. A sound so pure that Daniel's eyes filled with tears. The puppies clambered around her wheelchair, licking her fingers, nudging her feet as if sensing her pain. Daniel smiled through trembling lips. "Meet your new best friends," he said softly. Lily's eyes shone. And in that single moment, something inside the room changed. Not medically, but magically. For the first time since the accident, hope came home. From the moment the puppies entered the house, everything changed. Their tiny paws echoed against the wooden floor, filling the silent home with life again. Lily's laughter became music Daniel hadn't heard in months. Light, innocent, and healing. The 3 pups were inseparable from her. The smallest one, which Lily named Milo, always sat beside her wheelchair, guarding her like a loyal soldier. The playful one, Bella, brought her toys every morning, dropping them on her lap. And the biggest, Shadow, often rested his head on her knees as if protecting her from the world. Days turned into weeks, and something miraculous began to happen. Each morning, Daniel noticed subtle movements, tiny twitches in Lily's fingers, faint tremors in her legs whenever she laughed. At first, he thought it was just his imagination, until the doctors confirmed what no one could explain. Her muscles were reacting again. Daniel stood speechless, tears in his eyes as Lily's hand brushed across Bella's fur, her fingers moving, deliberately this time. The puppies barked softly, wagging their tails as if cheering her on. For the first time since the accident, hope wasn't just a dream. It was alive, and it had 4 paws, a wagging tail, and a heart big enough to heal the impossible. Mornings in the Dawson home no longer began in silence. Instead, they started with the joyful chaos of 3 puppies racing through the hallway, barking for attention. Lily sat in her wheelchair near the window, her smile brighter than the sunlight that poured in. Daniel watched quietly, his heart swelling with gratitude. Each day, the dogs followed her into her physical therapy sessions. When she stretched her arms, they sat beside her. When she tried to move her legs, they barked softly, as if cheering her on. Their energy filled the room, pushing her to try harder, to fight a little more. Then one morning, everything changed. Daniel was in the kitchen when he heard Lily's voice call out, not in pain, but in pure excitement. "Daddy, look!" He rushed in, nearly dropping the coffee mug from his hand. Lily's foot had moved, just slightly, trembling, but unmistakably alive. Daniel froze, tears flooding his eyes. The doctor called it reflex activity, but to him, it was a miracle. That night, Daniel whispered a prayer beside her bed, watching the puppies curled around her feet. "You 3, he murmured softly. "You've done what medicine couldn't." And somewhere between Lily's laughter and the soft rhythm of wagging tails, hope began turning into healing. It happened on a stormy night. The rain lashed against the windows, and thunder echoed through the empty streets. Daniel was in the kitchen when the power suddenly went out, plunging the house into darkness. He rushed toward Lily's room, but halfway there, he heard it. A faint cry for help. "Daddy!" Her wheelchair had malfunctioned. A power surge froze the motor, trapping her near the hallway. Panic filled the room, but before Daniel could reach her, the puppies sprang into action. Shadow barked loudly, racing toward the door to alert him. Bella tugged on the emergency cord that Daniel had installed months ago, pulling with all her strength. And little Milo stayed beside Lily, pressing his warm body against her trembling hands, refusing to leave. Daniel burst through the doorway, lifting his daughter into his arms as the storm roared outside. "It's okay, sweetheart. I've got you." The lights flickered back on, and for a brief moment, the chaos quieted. The three puppies sat in front of Lily, tails still, eyes wide, watching her like silent guardians. Daniel's voice broke as he looked at them. "You didn't just save her," he whispered. "You saved me." That night, he realized, faith sometimes comes wrapped in fur and loyalty, not miracles from the sky. Weeks passed, and the storm became a distant memory, but its impact had changed everything. Lily was stronger now, her laughter echoing through the house once more. The puppies followed her everywhere, like loyal shadows that refused to leave her side. Each day, they joined her therapy sessions, their tails wagging in rhythm with her determination. Then came the day no one dared hope for. Lily gripped the side of the therapy bars, her arms trembling. Daniel stood close, heart pounding. "You can do this," he whispered. The dog sat in a perfect line beside her, eyes fixed on her every move. For a moment, the room fell silent, until Lily shifted her weight, then lifted her foot. Slowly, shakily, she took one step. Daniel's breath caught in his throat. "Lily," he gasped, tears flooding his eyes. "You're walking." The therapist turned away, wiping her face. The three puppies barked joyfully, circling around Lily as if celebrating their victory. When the doctor examined her later, he smiled in disbelief. "Her progress defies science," he said softly. "But maybe this isn't science, it's love." That night, Daniel held his daughter close. "You see, sweetheart," he whispered, voice trembling. "Miracles don't always happen in hospitals. Sometimes, they have pause." The day Lily took her first steps didn't stay within the walls of their home. It reached the world. Daniel had captured the moment on his phone, his hands trembling as he recorded his daughter walking toward him, her three puppies cheering her on with happy barks. He posted the video online, thinking only friends would see it. By morning, it had millions of views. News outlets called it the miracle of love. Reporters wanted interviews. Foundations reached out, and people around the globe sent letters, some from parents who said Lily's courage gave them hope for their own children. But through all the fame and noise, Daniel kept reminding her, "This isn't about the world, sweetheart. It's about the love that never gave up." Months later, Lily was invited to a children's hospital to meet other kids in recovery. She walked through the halls with her three dogs at her side, their little paws clicking against the tiles. The children smiled, nurses cried, and Daniel watched as hope filled a room once dimmed by pain. That evening, as the sun set, Lily ran across the yard with her dogs chasing her laughter. Daniel stood in the doorway, whispering, "You gave me back my little girl." The narrator's voice closes softly. Sometimes, miracles aren't made in labs or prayers. They're born from love, loyalty, and the unspoken bond between a heart and its best friends.